We are so
We're
good.
good. We're
We are so good.
good. How how'd the holidays treat you? I know you had to work.
Yo, yeah, everything was good though. Yeah, we ate good. We had some oxtail. We had the little Jamaican Christmas. Oxtail, a little bit of on the side. Some rice and pea. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. We had little mini beef patties. Oh, let me tell you now,
I was about to ask if there were some patties and why I
they
didn't
were
get
a
any,
minute.
but
They were miniature. They
different
were
story for a
miniature.
different day.
They were gone. There were no more. They were an appetizer. There were no more. Good
Fair
luck with
enough.
that.
Fair
Good luck
enough.
with that. All those kids around. It
No
was fire
doubt.
though. It was fire. It was great, great time, man. How about you?
It was good, man. Um, it was good. Had a few days off from work, which was nice to kind of decompress and just kind of chill. Um, Same thing this weekend with New Year's Eve. So
Yes,
I'm good, man. I couldn't ask for more, honestly.
I'm working a long haul, but it's good because the money is right. The
Yeah,
money is right. So we're gonna make it work.
that's it, man. But again, holiday pay. I've never worked at a job where you get a holiday pay,
Yeah, yeah.
so
We
I'm
got
a
that.
little jealous because
That's why I agreed to it. That's the
yeah,
only reason I agreed to it. If it
a
wasn't
time
more
and a half,
money,
double time, whatever it
yeah. If it
is.
wasn't more money, I'm chilling with my little homie, and we make it all happen. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna get up with him. I'm working like during the day, and I gotta go back for like overnight. So in between there, kicking with my guy, Cash. We want to have a good time,
that's
and
it.
yeah, and then we go back. Gotta go back to work. Gotta get this bread.
That's it. Let's get to it then. I'm Johnell. I'm with my guy, Matt Price, Cash Walking. This is Heat Check powered by Designated Report. And let us be the first to tell you or to wish you Happy New
Yes,
Year. As of recording, New Year's Eve is tomorrow, Wednesday the 31st. Um, and yeah, if you're gonna go out, be safe. Don't drink and drive.
that part.
Um, have a good time. Have a good time bringing the new year right. 2026 is going to be the best year yet. So, happy new year to everybody out there. Thank you for rocking with us for how many years have we been doing Heat Check?
This is season 5.
That's what I
This is
thought. It's
season
been a
5.
while.
Season
It's
5.
been a
Yeah,
while.
it's
Okay.
we're on it. We're on it, man.
Half a
Get
decade.
from get familiar.
Thanks for locking in with us, everybody.
Yes.
Um, we got a bunch to get to, so let's jump right to it. Um, First thing, I've been thinking about this for a little bit and I didn't really know how to phrase it. And if I'm keeping it a buck, I still don't know if I'm phasing it correctly, but maybe you can shed some light. You can, we can figure it out as we go. But what I've been thinking is the middle class of the NBA fading? And what I mean by that is you've got teams, you got the OKCs, you got the Denvers, the Knicks are in that conversation now that are like title contenders. At the beginning of the season, we're like, yo, these teams are going to be competing for a championship at the end of the season. And then, of course, you have the bottom dwellers. You have the Atlantas, um, or not Atlanta. You got the Jazz and the
The
Nets and the
Pelicans and then
Wizards, the
there, yeah,
Pelicans, like the terrible teams where you're
yeah,
like, they might as well not even play this season
yeah.
because they're not going to be able to win anything. And then you have those middle of the road teams like Atlanta, like Miami, Dallas, Toronto, those teams. But it feels like those teams, Toronto, for example, is in no man's land. Like they're not bad enough to where they're going to get a lottery pick. They're not good enough to contend for a title. So like, what do they do? What are the expectations? How do you build from there? Um, so again, I don't know if I'm phrasing it correctly, but is the NBA's middle class fading?
I hear what you're saying, and to a degree, I agree with you. To a degree, so I understand what you're trying to say, and I think you are saying it the right way and putting them like as that middle of the pack. These are the teams that push those real championship contenders, like the old Cleveland Cavs with Mark Price and Craig Elo and Larry Nance back in the '90s, like those guys, or even like I'm trying to give up like another example the Blazers were pretty good in those early 2000s. Those
They were.
Blazers teams, those Kings teams, like you knew they were gonna push the Lakers. you like they're probably not gonna beat them, but they can beat them. But but this is a
Yeah,
really good team. Like you acknowledge that it's a really good team, but that Lakers team is just like elite level. Those teams. I feel like those teams that are gonna push, gonna challenge, that are gonna take a first round series or a second round series, 7 games with these elite level teams like OKC or Minnesota or one of
yeah,
these, or the Knicks, anything like that. Those teams, I feel like this season are there are a lot. There's a lot fewer of them. I think like Orlando's one of those teams in the
that's
East,
fair. Yeah,
and in the West, I don't even want to say it because I do think that they can win a championship. But Houston, I feel like seeing it on the court when you watch them play, you're like, is this team good enough to win a championship? Like, can they beat somebody like 4 out of 7? Like, like
yeah.
the best team. That's what I mean. So I feel like, yeah, there's a few of them there, but I feel like in the past there's been more.
That's fair. And kind of the way that I was thinking, again, like you have like the top 10% in the league, right? That you kind of pencil one of those teams or two of those teams to meet in the finals, and
Right,
one of
right.
those teams to win, right? And then again, you have the Pelicans, you have the Wizards, like teams where they're just going out and they're going to win 10 games on the season, but it's a professional team. People are going to show up. They're going to come and see Steph Curry come to
Yeah,
town. You know what I'm
of
saying? Like
course,
that
of
type of thing.
course.
Um, but I guess when I'm thinking about the middle class of the NBA, I almost want to group them in with like the bottom tier teams. And it's not
Yeah,
that they're not good teams, because they are. They're going to be good, they're going to be solid, they're going to be they're going to be competitive every night. On any given night they could beat one of those top tier teams like you said.
yeah,
um but it's like, do they really have an opportunity to
yeah,
win? Put aside injuries or anything like that. Like, obviously that could shift the landscape a lot. Whether it's a Tyrese Halliburton or a Jason Tatum, like that's going to alter things.
of
But
course.
these middle of the pack teams, it's like, you're going out there to like make the elite teams better. So,
Yeah,
iron
yeah,
sharpens iron type of thing.
yeah.
And I'm like,
It's like a
you know,
test run.
yeah. So I don't know. It's the building blocks are there for
Yeah,
the middle class. And a lot of times it's, hey, are you able to bring in a superstar
exactly.
to like lead your team? Are you able to draft well, a la OKC or Minnesota,
Yeah,
or like these teams that are like grassroots and really built from the ground up? Orlando, um, you know, it, can we put them in that category of like middle class but building? But then I don't know. I also feel like there's teams that are
Toronto. I
middle
feel
class
like
that
is
aren't
there.
good.
I feel like that's where Toronto is. I feel like that's where Orlando is. Even Miami to a degree. Like they got a great culture down there. Obviously, like they're always fringing on the play in, and even
So
when
real
they've
quick,
had terrible teams,
yeah,
they've
like,
been competitive for what their roster is at least.
and so that's a perfect example. Miami's always going to be in it.
Yeah,
They're gonna, they were in the finals in the bubble, like
as an
with
eight
Jimmy
seed.
Butler. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But again, they have a great coach, they have a great culture, and they have a very good team. Are they going to compete for a championship? They haven't won without LeBron and Wade.
yeah,
Before that, Wade and Shaq. Um, I just don't see how they grow when you're not bad enough to get
yeah.
a
To
good
get a
player.
top 5 pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like, look, we saw this past year, especially with the draft, teams that were not the worst teams got the top picks. Philadelphia, they weren't the worst team. They were trying to win all year last
Yep.
year. They just didn't. Things just didn't work out for them. They had injuries, all sorts of stuff, and then they ended up, getting a lottery pick and getting one of the best players in the draft too.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
so there's that right there. I just feel like you got to get lucky. It takes a little bit of luck, but
I
at the same
absolutely agree.
time, I feel like Toronto, they're really building towards something. And let me ask you this: in a case like Toronto, where you're not a free agent destination, like you're already playing the season in the wintertime, nobody's trying to go more north, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah.
So they gotta do things like the Kawhi trade to get those elite level stars. And then when you do that, only teams that are going to be trading these elite players like that, like this Brandon Ingram situation, he just happened to be under contract, but like that's what you got to do. These teams are going to let go of guys that they know aren't going to sign back, and
Yeah,
they're going to try and heist you because they know that hey, this guy, he's I don't know if he's going to sign back. He's not going to give you a guarantee right now, but he said he's open to the
that's
trade,
interesting.
and it's
Yeah,
tough. So it's like, how else do you do it? You have to kind of like risk it all. You even when you are getting these draft picks, they got guys, and then they traded OG. They got RJ quickly and these guys,
yep,
and they've drafted Scotty Barnes. They've brought in guys there, but it's tough because they have to bust everything down. They traded guys, Siakam to get some young players off.
yeah.
That's the way that it's just how you got to do business as a manager. And some of these, I think the market plays a significant role in this. The market that a lot of these teams are in. Orlando, yeah, it's Florida, but nobody trying to go to Orlando. Miami, that's a different case. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they've taken some big swings in free agency and they just haven't worked out all the way as far as like getting the guys that they're going after. But yeah, I feel like Miami, that is going to be a situation where they're right there right now. They're 6th seed right now, 18 and 15. We're just through about 30 over 30 games. They are. Who do they go after again? Do they make a play at Trae Young? I'm hearing,
Trey Young, I heard
Atlanta is
AD.
receptive to letting him go. Who else is out there? There's other teams that are bad teams. The Giannis thing is still there. Like, will he all of a sudden become more open to going to a place like Miami? They got the winning culture. They're, can
Yeah,
he play with Ben? I don't know. There's all these other teams. LaMelo Ball, like that's in his 5th year.
yep,
As long as we've been doing this show, he's been in the league,
yes, he
and
has.
it's not working out. But they have Brandon Miller. They drafted Con Canupo. Maybe
Yep.
we start moving in that direction, and we see what we could get out of LaMelo. I just think these are the ways, these middle of the road teams, these teams that are in no man's land, as you put it, that's the way that they have to build. It's got to be high risk, high reward.
So let me ask you this, and we can move on.
Yeah,
Um, you mentioned the market. Is that going to? Do you think that's going to continue to be a trend where it's like you have to be in LA, Miami, New York, Chicago? I know they haven't been good, but like you have to be in a big market in order to draw in the top tier talent
the top free agents
and
for sure.
to be able to move yourself out of that middle of the pack range? Or is it just like, hey, you mentioned it takes a little luck. Do you just have to draft somebody? Or do you
Yeah,
have to trade and, you know, try to get a steal like OKC got
yeah,
and then build from that? Like, I don't
exactly.
know.
Like SGAs are not growing on trees, but they got extremely lucky with that trade. That's just the Clippers. I'm sure would love to have him right now.
They absolutely would.
They would love to have him right now.
I'm very interested to see how things pan out. I mean, we're in a good spot in
Yeah.
basketball in general, just where the last 5 years, 7 years, we've had a new champion every
Yep.
year,
Yep.
which is fantastic. Um, I don't know. I think I'm getting at parity. You know, like there's bad teams with bad cultures. Players don't want to go there, and I get that. But again, the majority of the league is either a championship contender or they fall in that middle of the pack range.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what do you do? What do they do to get over the hump to become a contender?
That's it, man. I'm telling you, for in many cases, and this is just my opinion. I don't know how much data is there to support it, but I just feel like when if players, these top players, even hit free agency, because that is a new thing too
Yeah,
that's happening. Like we're seeing a lot more, especially since like Carmelo Anthony and these guys. They're trading these guys before the last years of their deal,
yep,
so that they don't have to worry about them hitting free agency. They're like, I don't want to lose them for nothing.
yeah. We want to get yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be where he wants to be next year. So let me see if I can get a bunch back and reset off of his value, and that's the way you got to do it. If you got any type of player that is interesting, you got to just keep sending those guys out and try to to get him to a team that's thirsty for something, and maybe you end up in the lottery, and that's how it's got to be right now.
Yeah.
I think the market's going to play a role. If you're not in that New York, Miami, I mean even Philadelphia, Chicago, Atlanta, LA, like the San Antonio Spurs are probably are looking like the best free agent destination in the world as far as for basketball reasons.
Yeah.
But I've been to San Antonio. It's a great town. No disrespect, San Antonio, but it's like that's not for a young 20 something. He's not going to want to be there.
Yeah.
These guys are only practicing for 3 hours out of the day or 2 hours out of the day. The rest of your day, you just in San Antonio. So, look,
Yeah.
these places, that's the thing. You got to make these places more attractive, and I think that you got to just try and win a free agency or be bad enough to get a high
That's
draft
fair.
pick.
That's
That's it.
fair. Um,
It's like go back to tanking almost. I think we're saying go back to tanking, even though they're not rewarding it
maybe.
anymore.
Yeah.
But we're saying go back to tanking. It sounds
Might
like
be
it.
it.
Because even if you tank, you don't. I mean, you tanking is just not making the plan. Like if you get to late March and you're right there on the cusp of making the plan, you should not make the plan so that you can stay in the lottery in the top 14 picks, 15 picks. That's what you
Yeah.
should do.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Um, a team that is not tanking, but is potentially taking a hit. The Denver Nuggets. We saw
Oh,
Nikola Jokic go down last night, and it's being reported that he'll be out for at least 4 weeks with a
mhm.
hyperextended knee. Um, Obviously, avoided anything worse. It's not a season-ending
Yeah.
injury or anything like that.
I was surprised to
Um,
hear that.
Me too. Me too. Um, if not the MVP favorite in Jokic, he's definitely one of the top candidates. One, two, three, probably somewhere in there. Um, that team doesn't run the same without him on the
Mm.
court. How does this impact him personally in the MVP race? And then do you think the Nuggets can weather the storm? They've got 18 games in the month of January.
Yep.
Um, I'm kind of thinking they can hover around 500. They've got some very winnable games, but the league's competitive. They've got some tough opponents. I think they can hover around 500. I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
don't know what that means for the team moving forward. Going into All Star break and then the back nine of the season.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Fortunately, they're out 12 games over 500 right now, so they're off to a
Yes,
good start. He was playing some of the best basketball of his career, which is something crazy to say about a person who's won the MVP 3 times
that
already.
Christmas Day game was
Yeah,
insane.
and he had a 50-point triple double just a few days ago. So I think that you know they can. That's a lot of production to
Yes,
replace. It's hard to do that. What we're gonna need is we're gonna need Jamal Murray and these other guys
100%.
to take it to the next level. Cam Johnson, like you should be getting healthy and getting ready to to take your game to the next level too. All these guys out there need to start taking their game to the next level because you're gonna need it. Uh, I just think that look, I'm trying to pull up their schedule here. That's really what it is. So in January, they have the aforementioned Raptors, in their last game or in their next game, last day of December. That's tomorrow, New Year's Eve, and then that's when they hit the road. So they're in Toronto, and then after that they go to Cleveland, to Brooklyn, to Philadelphia, to Boston. So you're losing your best player, your most productive player, the person of whom your offense runs through, and then
Yep.
you're hitting the road. So there's going to be no time for practicing. So I'm expecting that they're going to struggle and stumble a little bit here, but by the middle of January, they should, catch their stride and at least, figure out a way how to push forward and be productive, as a team. And they got talented players, so I think they're going to be able to at least hang on and stay, up there in the middle of the Western Conference standings until he
Yeah.
gets back. But they shouldn't rush him back.
Oh,
It's most
100% agree.
important to have him 100% when he comes back for the push in February, March to get themselves into proper playoff positioning.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. You hit all the points. I mean, you're not going to replace a Jokic. His production, his IQ. You're just not. But like you said, they have a talented roster. They should be able to weather the storm. Like I said, if he's out for the 4 weeks, I'm thinking they can be, around 9, 10 wins
Yeah,
and really still be right in the mix. Like you said, they've been good enough to be able to give themselves a little bit of a buffer.
yeah.
So what are they, 2 seed right now?
They're the 2 seed right now, yeah. We're talking about
You
missing
know,
17, 18 games, basically.
yeah,
There's 17 games in January alone. And then he's got this one more game
the
he's
one
going to
game.
miss
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
So,
They're the 3 seed, sorry. San Antonio's 2. They're
that's
just,
right.
they're a game back.
So, are they going to drop? I would think so, honestly, a spot or two. But again, that team with Jokic in the playoffs, I don't think anybody wants to play them. It's just a matter of getting him back, getting him back healthy, and even if that means it takes 6 weeks as opposed to 4, you let him rest, you get him right so that once you do get to the playoffs, even if you're in there as a five seed,
Yeah, yeah.
they don't care. You
They
know what I'm
don't
saying?
care.
They'll play
They feel
whoever.
as if they can beat any team out there. And I think
Yeah,
that's true.
they
As
can.
long as
Yeah,
he's healthy.
correct.
As
Correct.
long as they got him. Because it's like crazy, man. I never seen a slow man control pace. It's insane what he does.
It's funny. Him and I would say him and Luca
Yeah.
control the pace better than any other players in the league.
It's the passes that they make because they're moving slow, but they'll throw darts like 40 feet and then hit a guy like under the basket. He's just like layup. And
Yeah,
it's like crazy. I mean, he's 7 feet. He can see over everything, everyone. His court vision, his IQ, like you said, is just, he's second to none, man. Second to none. That's including LeBron. Happy birthday. But he's just like,
yeah,
he's easily one of the smartest basketball players that is in the NBA right now. He just, the way he plays, he sees things that nobody else sees. He has a great understanding of their offense and what they're trying to do and how they're going to be successful on that end of the floor. So they're really going to have their hands full replacing, some of that production. You can't get it all back, but got Aaron Gordon. All these guys got to somebody's got to hit the boards a little harder.
yep,
Somebody's got, we got to move the ball and share it a little more than usual. We got to get out on a break and try to get some easier stuff because we're not going to be as effective in the half court as we
yeah,
were when we had a 7 foot point guard. So yeah,
absolutely,
it's a point center. Yeah,
absolutely.
it's different, man. They got their work cut out for them, but I think they'll be all right.
You mentioned LeBron. Happy
Yes,
birthday again.
yes.
Um, he's been in the news a little bit aside from his birthday. Um, he's been back with the team for about 6 weeks. I think he came back on November 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and prior to him coming back, he was injured. He had the sciatica and a few things he was dealing with. The team was 10-4 when he came back. The team is now 20-10 as of
Mm.
recording. Um, we have a group chat with our buddy Sean, and we're talking on Christmas, and he's fed up with the team, per the usual, for what it's worth. But um, there's been a lot of discourse about LeBron specifically, and JJ Redick, head coach of the Lakers, he came out and called out LeBron by name, essentially just stating that defensive clarity, role clarity, offensive organization, it just hasn't been there for the team since LeBron's gotten back. Um, for what it's worth, he did take the blame. He's the head coach.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, you know, I'm not making the adjustments or, whatever
yeah,
on
yeah.
his end. Um, but I guess my first question is, should we read anything into this? Is this JJ Redick putting it out in the media to hold LeBron accountable, or do we think there is something like more to what he's saying?
I think it's totally an accountability play. He's letting the other guys know. He's letting Luca know, look, he's 40 some years old. I'm still coaching him in public. I'm calling him out.
Yeah.
He's taking the accountability for it. He's like, this is all. They're very close, JJ and LeBron. They
Yes.
were close
Yeah.
prior to JJ, being hired as coaches of the Lakers. So I think that this is totally. I'm not saying that they like planned it, but I think that JJ said it, and then he talked to LeBron immediately, like, hey, this is coming. But I think that it's a good thing. I think that LeBron will take his game to the next level because he always does, or at least as far as he can take it at 41. And he's going to play the best basketball that he can play for what he's got left in him. Like
Yeah.
I have no doubt about it. He's given me no reason to doubt. So
That's fair.
that's
That's
how I
fair.
feel. I'm not going to read too much into it at all. These two are close. They both know basketball. They're both passionate about the game. So I think, excuse me, I think that yeah, there's not too much to read into this.
Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with everything JJ Redick does or says,
Yeah,
but what I do genuinely like about him is that he's very measured. Like he's not going to come out and say something for for lack of a better word or phrase like clickbaity. Like
yeah, yeah,
he's definitely been thinking about this.
yeah.
He's gone through this and weighed pros and cons, and the reason he's saying it is because there's some truth to it.
Oh yeah,
And
that's his
I don't
assessment, his honest assessment.
disagree. He's not wrong with what he's saying. The team, yes, the team is 10-6 since LeBron's been there. They were 10-4 prior to that.
Right.
So like have we seen a huge drop off in terms of wins and losses?
No,
No.
it
But
just looks different though.
when you watch the team, it looks very different than the team that we saw that was being led by Luca and Austin Reeves.
Yeah,
And of course, LeBron at 41, the legend that he is, of course, like he's going to play significant minutes. He is going to be a focal point in the offense. But there has to be a semblance of a team if they're looking to
yeah,
win a championship this year, some things have to change. And
yeah,
I think everybody outside looking in and probably in that organization realized that,
yeah.
right? Um, early in the season, October through mid-November, they were middle of the pack defensively. I think they were at 15 or 14 or something like that.
hmm
Um, since LeBron's been back, they're 27th in
Yeah,
the
they're
league
falling off,
defensively.
and it
You
was
know what I'm saying?
awful on Christmas.
So yes, terrible,
Yeah, it really
terrible.
kind of came out in the clear at Christmas.
Yeah. So, I agree. I think JJ and LeBron, like you said, they are friends. I'm
Yeah,
thinking. I mean, they had the podcast. You know, although it's not confirmed,
yeah,
I would assume LeBron vouched for JJ to be the head coach, and
I'm sure.
so you know, I think it's one of those things where LeBron is LeBron is realizing that Father Time is catching up with him. He's not the same player he was even 2 years ago. Um, and we've mentioned it many times on this show. LeBron is very capable of playing with anybody.
Oh yeah,
Um, but I do think it's a situation where JJ Redick's got to sit him down and say, hey, these are the things that you're doing well. These are the things that you're not. So in these moments, like we need you to do X, Y, and Z. And if you do those things, then we can have Rui doing A, B, and
yeah,
C. And that's how we're going to get the most out of you, out
yeah.
of him, out of Luca, out of
Yes,
this team, so that we can maximize the talent that we have.
a little bit
I
of
still
role
don't
clarity. Yeah, I think that goes a long way.
I still don't think they're a championship team as currently constructed. Um, I think they can be and will be very competitive, but I think that they're going to have to make some sort of a move. But in the immediate, before February's trade deadline, like you said, there's got to be some role clarity. You know, LeBron, you're great. You're an all-time great
Yeah,
first ballot Hall of Famer. This is Luca's team. So
yeah,
we're going to have to figure out how you fit in with Luca's style of
yeah.
play and, build it from there.
He still hasn't really come out and said that either, and I think that that's something that needs to be done. Like D Wade, he did LeBron like that. He was like, nah,
Immediately.
that like it's Bron. Like
Yep.
I'm on the team. I've been here, but like this Bron team, like and he had to give you that validation. So Luca knows it's his team. He know like it just
Yes.
they went out there and got me like and it's they're setting this thing up for me. The
Yep.
roster that was built, it was built to play with Luca, and I think that right there is very clear to everybody to see. But for LeBron, the guy who things have been running through, to come out and just kind of say, hey, this is his squad, man. I'm just trying to, play here and help him any way I can on the court. Even if it's averaging 15, 4 and 4 or whatever, playing only
Yeah.
30 minutes a night, like, so he could be on the court with these other guys and have more time with them. That's fine. Him and Austin can have more time playing
Yep.
34, 35, 36 minutes together. Whatever, like do whatever. Like I think that's the route they got to start going.
I agree. I agree. Um, so with the new year quickly approaching, I wanted to just go down a list of some of the bigger stories from this calendar year, January 1st through December 31st. Um, I'm going to list off some and really just like your first thoughts or or just like how it's impacted the league in the last 365. So we'll kind of just rattle them off. We'll go through them. Some of the things people will have forgotten about, some of the things not. But it's been a fun year for
Yeah,
sure. So to be able to just kind of go back and look at everything, I think will be good. Um, so I want to start off with this season. Um, we had tip off in October for the 25-26 season, and the opening week viewership from this year was the highest in 15 years. Um, there's been a lot of conversation about the ratings being down. People aren't watching basketball anymore. But this seems to point in a different direction. Is this boding good for the future of the NBA?
I think so. I think so. I think that while we were talking about the middle ground team, the middle of the road teams or the middle class teams, as you put it before, while we have not as many of those, the great players like the exciting players to watch, they're spread more around the league. Every team I do feel like at least has somebody to come and watch. Like they
Yeah,
have
I do agree with that.
one box office player. Like, even New Orleans, like last night the Knicks played New Orleans. And I was like, okay, Zion, he was like questionable, but then he went to like, probable. And all of a sudden he was starting. Like even they put the starting lineup graphic up there and he
Mhm.
wasn't even in it. It was the wrong one, and then they cut to the game, and he's out there at the jump
Gotcha.
ball. So there's somebody coming. Then they have a young kid from Maryland, Derek Queen. That kid,
Mhm.
he's a real, an exciting prospect, something that can give you a little hope. And so every team has these guys, and then you got Utah. Utah, it's dark days out there, but they got Keontae George having
Yep.
a great stretch. His December has been unbelievable. I think he's averaging like 35 points a game or something in December. He's balling in December. Then they got the other young kid that they just drafted, Ace Bailey. So there's some things to be excited about. Portland, the Portland Trailblazers are this year's
They look
Orlando
good.
Magic, Sacramento Kings
Yes.
for me.
Yep.
My San
Yep.
Antonio Spurs. From when I told you they were coming, this
Yep.
group is coming. Despite all that they've been through, they lost their coach to the FBI.
Huh. Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And they still out here. There's a lot of young players that not necessarily household names in the NBA, but some great young stars from when they were in their college days that are coming together and blending and putting together a good squad, man. So yeah, I think that because of that, there's always going to be and also I got to shout out NBC and Peacock and the matchups that they're putting on for their national TV games have been these aren't your typical TNT. It was like always the Lakers and whoever
Yeah.
for the night game,
Yep.
or whoever won the championship the year before was one in the one block, and then the other is like the Lakers and whoever they're playing. So
Yep.
now it's not always that. Even though tonight it is Lakers Pistons, but the first game is
That's gonna be a great game.
Grizzlies Sixers. And you know what I mean? that's something that, like, the Grizzlies, they started off rough, no Ja. They're starting to turn things back up a little bit. Jaren Jackson's been
Hmm.
playing well. They got another. These are opportunities to find out who these guys are. So, and it's a long season, man. And every night there's going to be something on TV. You know, and now basketball is. I'm gonna watch basketball over a lot of what this garbage is putting out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what y'all talking about. Nobody watching basketball. I'm watching over here.
Yeah, I mean, and I think so. Again, viewership that first week way up in
Yeah,
the highest it's been in 15 years, right? Um, I also think the NBA more than some of the other sports is on the forefront of social media. So they embraced, you know, posting clips on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, like a YouTube short or whatever. Um, those numbers, the viewership numbers, that's not going to reflect them posting a reel of Cooper Flag dunking on
yeah,
somebody and it gets 15 million views and 400,000 shares. Like
yeah,
that doesn't go into it. um they being the league, they're very cognizant of their fan base. They know that
yes,
their fans are younger. They know that they're on their phones. So to give the game to their fans, their fan base, and the way that they consume it is super smart. And then, again, it might not show up in like the
yeah,
the TV viewership,
yeah,
but they're viewing.
yeah.
They're viewing.
That's an archaic way of kind of gathering the metrics of whether or not something is being, watched, consumed, whatever. Like, we
Correct.
know, yeah, we've known this for like years now. Like the NBA came, Adam Silver, I think one All Star weekend said that about, like, oh yeah, our ratings are our ratings, but we're getting a lot of impressions, a lot of views on all
Yes.
of our social medias. Like the most watched YouTube thing, I believe, or like YouTube video, like what, like in like that category was the NBA, like for sports, like people were watching their nightly highlights because now
Yep.
you could get like every game, all the highlights, all the dunks, all the everything, all in just 3 minutes.
Yep.
That's it, and then you could carry on living your life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So there are people who are basketball fans. Sunday is NFL. It's their one day a week. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yep.
or well, not one day a week, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on prime time. It's oftentimes when they're Thursday night, it's the one game that's on. Monday night, it's the one game that's on. Sunday, nobody's working really, so we got all day to just watch football. Everybody's committed. But in the NBA, they're playing on weeknights. So after I have my dinner, put my son to bed, yeah, I want to watch a game. And
Yep.
I'll take that anytime, any place. So yeah, I think it's good. And if I can't catch the game, then and when my son actually do go to sleep, I'm gonna get on my phone or on the iPad and I'm gonna be on
Yep.
YouTube like, oh, that's crazy. Look at Cooper Flag. Like, exactly. Look at that's how I found out about this Edgecombe character. He's something else, man.
Character's funny. Yeah, no, he's so good. That team is surprisingly very good.
Yeah, man.
Um, the You mentioned them not too long ago, not by name. Chauncey Billups,
Yes.
Terry Rozier. Another big story from this year were the gambling indictments,
Big yikes.
and they were at the forefront. Unfortunately, this is something I feel like the league needs to nip in the bud, and honestly, all the leagues.
I think they're
Um,
trying.
no, they're definitely doing what they can. It's not going anywhere. I Again, in one of our group chats, I know we have people that are like, "Hey, no more gambling. Like, we need to get rid of it."
Yeah.
The leagues are in bed with
Yeah.
big gaming, big
Come on.
gambling at
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
point. There's nothing at this point. Everybody's so invested monetarily, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. No way.
Um, I think as long as it's not a KD, a Steph Curry, a LeBron, as long as it's not like a top tier player that's
Yeah.
doing it, it's just going to continue to be this revolving door of, oh, coach was gambling or a player provided information. You're suspended for life. Nice to meet you. Go do whatever you want and keep it pushing from there. But it's not going anywhere. But the big story was Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. providing information to these gamblers. Um, where do we go from here? What's it look like?
I like I said. So I went on Saturday to Mohegan Sun. We live in Connecticut. That is one of our casinos here in state. Inside Mohegan Sun, there has been a renovation that happened a few years ago. They put a FanDuel Sportsbook
Yes, they
inside the
did.
casino. Inside that FanDuel Sportsbook, there is logos of all of the sports leagues: NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB. They're everywhere. They're on the beers. They're on the wall. They're on the
Yep.
cups. They're on the menus. They're everywhere. They are partnered. It is here. So where we go, we have to figure out how to manage this thing and how to get so I think informing the players and letting them know what to do. Like, it's about knowing what to do in these scenarios when somebody comes to you, even if it's your boy who you grew up with and you know he's poor and he's down bad. Yo, find another way. Don't do that. Find another way, because you are partnered. You're not, the league is not just a job for you. You're partnered in the league. The former
Yep.
commissioner, rest his soul, David Stern, he said that to the players. And we know when the NBA was having a real hard time with viewership in the late 70s, it's widely known by most basketball fans that 70, I think it was 78 finals or 79 finals was on tape delay, and it came on at like 11 p.m. The night that it actually happened. It never even aired live. So, and then the next year, Magic and Bird show up, and then David Stern, when he finally saw the vision, he was like, "You guys are partners in this thing with us." And start
Yep.
wearing suits, start looking better, like start presenting yourself better. And I think that these players got to understand that. Younger, older coaches, same thing. And I do they think they do understand it. Some of them are just gonna take that chance, and that's what it is. That's I don't think it's an indictment on all the players. I don't think we should punish
Yeah, I
all the
absolutely agree.
people who enjoy gambling and doing it responsibly. Like, I hit 3 bets out there in Mohegan, and there is no feeling, and I do mean no feeling in the world like smashing a monster Jalen Brunson parlay. Do you know how we won? So we hit Jalen Brunson first quarter points. It was 10. Do you know how many points he had in the first quarter against Atlanta? 11. Do you know
11.
when he got that 11th point? On a 3 at the buzzer in the first quarter, bro. Are you kidding me? I literally kicked and punched air after that. I was like, ah, I did the thing, everything, bro. Like, come on, man. It's electric. So don't
Yeah,
ruin it for me. Y'all get it together. You're already millionaires. Stop being greedy. I've been eating long enough now. All that. And yeah, I think it's just something that you just have to inform the players, like, yo, these are ways to navigate through these type of situations, these type of scenarios. And I think that don't exile these people who have been caught up in this stuff. Make them an example and make them work their way
that's
back
fair,
by
honestly. Yeah.
informing the other players, like, yo, this is the BS that I got caught up in, man. It can happen to you too. This is one of my boys who was had me over here. I've known him since whatever. And, I think that that's important, because a lot of players, they don't think that their friends that they've grown up with, that knew them since they were poor, are gonna weaponize their fame now to
Yeah,
enrich themselves. And yeah, I think that it's important that these guys, Chauncey Billups already a coach. It's important for him to let people know, the players that are going to be, here now and in the future, the ways to navigate through this. This is the new world, so we got to learn how to walk to live in it.
I agree. I agree. And I do think we'll get there. Inevitably, we're going to have more incidents like this. But I do think as we progress, it'll be less and less. And again, I do think it's going to be more so you know, the 11th player on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Where
Yeah, yeah.
he's got
John
a
Tay
little.
Porter.
Yeah, yeah. He's got a little inside information. Hey, John Smith,
Yeah.
he's had a nagging hamstring all week. I don't know if he's gonna go. I don't know if he's
Yeah, but
100%.
don't after that tell all 11 of your boys to, yo, I'm gonna give you 100
That's a
racks,
fact.
throw
That's a
10
fact.
apiece on this bet. Like that, it's so stupid. Like it's gonna get flagged. You know that this exists. You know that they're tracking it. It's just dumb. Like Jonte Porter,
You're
well,
not
he was
wrong.
going like
You're not
under
wrong.
like 3.5 freaking rebounds or something like that. Like, dude, if something comes through with a bench player who's not even really in the rotation, he just happens to be playing tonight because a guy got injured ahead of him. Like, and then all of a sudden all this money's coming in on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like don't be stupid.
We're also not condoning anybody doing any of that
I'm
stuff.
not.
So,
Don't do it at all. Exactly. You're getting an NBA salary. Like, if
yeah.
you don't want it, I'll take it, bro. Like, you kidding me? Especially for scrubs like that who not even really play. You know what I'm saying? I sit on the bench and not make no bets. I could do that, and I like gambling.
That's funny. Um, Chris Paul. We
Oh,
never talked about Chris Paul.
we
Um,
never brought this
and
up. I'm
we
glad we're bringing
didn't.
this up.
And it wasn't a huge story. I mean, it was in the cycle for a week or whatever. Um, but I think what's interesting about this, he's 40 years old. Um, he announced it. This is going to be his last year. And the Clippers ended up cutting him. I don't want to get into, what allegedly happened or anything like that, but um, for again another first ballot Hall of Famer, it just feels a little unceremonious the way
Yeah,
he's going to go out. And I don't know. I was like racking my brain earlier. I don't even know if there's a team that would need him. Like,
yeah,
unless there's an injury or something like that, I
yeah.
don't think there's a team that needs a Chris Paul on their roster. And then a younger team, I don't know that there's a team that
No.
needs a veteran like leader,
Yeah,
mentor
yeah.
on their team either. Um,
Not that he would want to go and play for.
I mean, I think
I
at
think
this
his
point in his
only
career, he
shot is
wants to
Houston.
win.
His only shot is Houston. That's it. Houston is they've had the Fred VanVleet injury. They're shallow at the guard. They're
Maybe,
shallow at
maybe.
point guard. I think that a bench point guard spot for him is a perfect thing. Change the pace, move the ball, set up the offense, have some control of your over the second unit. That's like his best case scenario right now. And I pray to God that it happens because it's dirty how they did him, and
I
I don't care
agree.
what he did or said. You could have worked that out behind the scenes. It never had to play out this way, especially since, like you said, he announced that this is it. So to cut
Yep,
him and then like not without even a range, maybe even as an organization, like arrange for all right, we're gonna cut him because we know that this team wants to pick him up. Otherwise, yo, let him stay on the roster. You really like you're so disgusted that you can't even like let him stay on the roster, stay around the team, be like a vocal leader, somebody who he made your miserable franchise worth watching for almost a decade.
facts.
You know what I'm
Yep,
saying? So to do him like this at this point, right now, when he will walk into every arena, whether he's gonna freaking play a second or not, and get a standing ovation. He has done a lot for this league, and I think it's grimy how they did him.
I
And
agree.
I really hope that a winner, picks him up, and he gets to where and gets a chance to at least sees a little bit of floor time on a playoff contender.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Eh,
hate Minnesota either. Minnesota is another place that maybe he could get up there.
Ooh,
They can use some guard help. It's not going to cost you that much to get him out there. And like you
no,
said, at this point, I don't think he cares. His family is secure. They're living where they're living. His son is playing already. And I don't know if he's in high school yet, but yeah, like he's got things are in motion already. So for him for his career right now, yeah, I think he went back to the Clippers because he thought that was a chance with the roster
exactly,
that they were building to win. And now that you
exactly.
don't, you could take you could pick and choose and take your pick. I would I would definitely look into those places if you want to stay out west.
Yeah, I mean, I would just love to see him play. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like, we're not talking 30 minutes a game. Maybe it's 12, 15 minutes a game.
yeah,
Second unit, third unit, he comes in, he orchestrates the offense a little bit. Again, I just don't. And again, he's 40. He's a
yeah,
40-year-old. he's a 40-year-old undersized point guard.
Yeah.
Like I do get it in that sense. At the same time, it's just like, yo, one of the best point guards that we've ever seen play the position, for him to not get not even the farewell tour necessarily, but for him to not be able to go out on his own terms,
Yeah. He
take
was
your
going
word, it
out on his
just
own
feels grimy.
terms. That's the thing. He was
Yeah,
going out on his own terms. He's like, yo, I'm going to go back to where it all started, where I had some of my best years of my career, probably the best years of my career.
yeah,
My family, we built a life out here in LA. Like, we're doing it. And I'm going back there where it all started. Like, he had a whole thing set up. And then that's how they did him, man. But I get it. It's
yeah,
like, that's not the same, or ownership or management that was there when he was last there. So they have no ties to him.
yeah, yeah.
Ballmer and Lawrence Frank and all these guys, like they don't have any ties to him. So yeah, man, it's a tough break for Chris, and I really hope that he gets another opportunity, even if he's not playing, even if he's just like an emergency third string point guard, just to get
Yeah.
a chance. I want to see him get a ring. I don't care if he even has to play for it. I want to see him get a ring or get a chance to get a ring.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, I would say probably the second biggest story from this calendar year is OKC, the Thunder winning their first champ. Is it their first championship? Because the Sonics
So
won
the
in
Sonics won
'79.
one in 70. Yeah, they beat they won back in they beat Washington, the Bullets, back
Yeah.
when they were still that. So it's the franchise's history, but like in this Oklahoma City franchise history, this is their first one.
So they're trying to disown whatever happened in Seattle. That's what we're doing.
I guess they're just trying. I mean, Silver's going to bring another team back there anyway.
Hey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Silver's going to put another
Okay.
team in there again. I pray that it is the Seattle Sonics again, the Supersonics.
I would
Bring
hope
them back.
so.
I don't think you could
Yeah.
even do a different thing. You can't go out there back to Seattle and do a different thing. And then Las
Yeah.
Vegas, they're going to be what they are. They're probably just working on an arena out there
They'll
because
figure
they're
it
going to
out
want an
in both
arena.
locations.
They're going to want an arena there so that they could do the little NBA Cup thing too. It's going to have to be like a showcase arena, and that's going to be their whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Um, excuse me. So I'm going to call it the second in franchise history. But the first for the Thunder, and it was a culmination of everything you've been preaching for the last 5 years: draft and develop. Don't go out and big swing. Let's bring John Moran in. Let's bring Zion in. Like, no, work it from the bottom,
Yeah,
draft right. You trade for SGA, you get a boatload of draft picks, you flip those. Like, you've
yeah.
been preaching this for years.
If you
This
got
is
the
how you
patience,
build
this
a
is the
team.
way you do it. If you
Yes.
got the patience.
Um, it also, again, it helps having Sam Presti pulling all the strings,
Oh yeah.
but
They still have like 200 picks and they have won a
that
championship.
basically
Like
they
he's
have
probably
200
got
picks.
picks in an IRA somewhere. Just like chilling. I don't know.
They've got 200 picks. They've locked up their core. They gave them all
All
extensions.
of them. Everyone.
This team, this team is going to be good for as long. Uh, I mention it every week. I'm not, injuries happen.
Yeah. They'll
Put
be good
injuries
till they're
aside.
all in their 30s.
The only thing that derails the Oklahoma City Thunder
Yeah.
is injury or ego.
Yeah.
And right now, it doesn't seem like they have ego,
No.
and they're willing to continue to play with each
They
other.
did start doing
Um,
post game interviews by themselves though.
oh, that might be a red
It's like,
flag.
hey, I saw. uh,
um, I kind of took your shine, your thunder, but no puns intended. But again, you've been preaching this for years. I know, like the Knicks. Knicks traded for Jalen
oh
Brunson.
yeah.
You traded for Cat,
Well,
but
Jalen Brunson was free agency. They traded for Cat. Yeah,
true, true,
traded for
true.
OG.
Um, but you guys, I mean, I know you were in talks about like Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
Giannis talked about potentially going
yeah.
there, Zion,
Never pulled the
but
trigger.
yeah, I don't think you guys, since Carmelo, you guys haven't. gone after like that big fish
Yeah.
where if it doesn't work out, if you don't win a championship, now it puts your team, your franchise behind the eight ball for a decade. Look at the Nets, right? Um, so from your perspective as somebody who roots for a team that is building towards a championship, what did you see with OKC and their run last year? And I mean, I guess through the first 30 games this year as well.
I saw a young coach who had his up and downs, and Mark Daigneault that had grace from his own from the ownership and grace from management to this thing's not gonna come all together quickly, but I'm gonna get these guys there. And every year, Sam Presti just kept working the puppet strings and bringing in this guy here, finding that guy there, and they were all very unique players when you look at it. And then the year came where they got a guy like Chet. You end
Yep.
up finally we're in the lottery. We're in the lottery. We're like boom. Now we have this player. We knew we had SGA. SGA kind of started cooking at what 21, 22. Then like
Yep.
23 is when they really started to arrive. And then they lost early in 24 and won last. Oh yeah, so excuse me, they lost early in 23 and then 24 they take it to the next level. So and win it all. Or excuse me, that was 25. That was this year. My bad.
25. Yep.
Yeah, so 24 was the year. I'm mad. I'm messing up the years, but I think that's what you see. Like if you have the patience, this was like a 6-year process that took them to get here. SGA was that was a what? Wasn't that a Chris Paul trade? Oh no, Paul George.
Paul
Paul
George.
George.
Yeah,
That's
he
what it
was
was.
in LA.
Yeah, and I mean, this is tough. It's a decision that is difficult, I'm sure, for all the parties involved to make. But when you think you got one of those players to build around them. And I
Yes.
think they've done a good job. SGA is a unique player. He plays a unique style, and they got him a co-star with Chet, who is also a unique player with a unique style. And then you just got dogs everywhere. Lou Dort,
Yep.
both of the Jalen Williamses.
Yep.
The Aaron Wiggins coming off. He's a sharpshooter. They got a lot of guys. Alex Caruso. Like, come on, man. Alex Caruso is a winning player. He's been on winning teams for essentially his entire career. So, yeah, man. If you have the patience, draft and develop, but we were talking about before, if you feel like now is when we got to go get it, this is the year, then yeah, take what you got, what you think you got, and you move it to try to get something that could get you over the top. The
Yep.
Knicks, the Knicks did that. Like they took R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, two good young players for them. R.J. Barrett's a third overall pick. They
Yep.
they they took guys. Emmanuel Quickly was a first round draft pick as well. 26th pick or 25th pick. They took those guys and they turned them into OG
Into
Anunoby,
OG.
who was a all everything player, and now and it fit, it fit, and it's not like RJ and Quickly can't play. Like they're playing well. Toronto's playing well.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
winning games. They're great complementary players to a player like Brandon Ingram, to a player like Scotty Barnes. It's all coming together for them, and I'm sure with time they're gonna get even better, and hopefully they can get that next guy to take them over the edge. But yeah, man, the Knicks even after that they still are working like some of their biggest key contributors are guys they drafted, but in the second round, like Deuce McBride, second round
Yep.
draft pick, drafted and developed. When Deuce got here, he couldn't shoot. Now he's like I think second in the whole team on 3-point percentage. Mitchell Robinson, the rawest of rawest talents. Mitchell Robinson is averaging more offensive rebounds than 27 teams. He is
That's
at
crazy.
yeah, yeah. Like I mean, come on, bro. Like he's really he's really an impactful player. Like and these guys, he was a second round draft pick. So I mean, look, if you got the patience, do it. It took obviously it took the Knicks a long time to get here, but here we are.
Here we are. Here we are. Um, let's talk about one trade that shook the entire league last year or
SMH.
this year. Um, Obviously talking about the Luca trade, Luca to LA for AD and some ancillary picks, whatever. I mean, not that they're bad players, but like, who
Yeah,
cares? It was those two. Um, Happened very early in the morning. I remember I was knocked out. I woke up to texts
the
from
wee
you and
hours.
Sean,
Yeah.
like, what's happening? I
You know I'd
woke
be up
up
late.
dazed and confused. I'm like, bro, what are y'all talking about?
Shams was
Jump on
Shams.
Twitter and we got a Shams bomb.
Yeah.
Um
That was like the first real one.
with it, and it still feels like we're missing something, right? Um
We weren't
it
told the
just
whole story.
it doesn't make sense. I mean, the Mavericks were in the NBA finals.
The
They lost
prior
they
season.
lost to Boston,
Yeah.
but they were in the NBA finals, and then less than 365 days later, you trade your best player,
Far
a
less.
generational player,
Yeah.
for AD, again, essentially AD, and now they're talking about shopping AD. And like,
Yeah.
yes, they got Cooper Flag. That's a good consolation pick or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but you traded a known. You traded Luca. You know who he is. He dragged your team to the finals. In the bubble, he was incredible. He's going to be a perennial MVP candidate every single year. You got rid of him. And it's just like, what what was the plan? Because Cooper Flag, while I do think he's going to be great, he's still very young. He's
Yeah.
still very raw. And when you made the pick, you don't know what Cooper Flag is going to be
No.
in the NBA.
You don't even know if
I don't
he's even in the reach of Luca. You have no idea.
correct.
You have
And,
no
and we
idea.
and we won't know. We won't know for a while.
No.
But yeah,
No. And that's the thing. Luca is so young that even a young Cooper Flag is like not that far. Luca's like what, 26 now?
that
Flag
sounds
just
about right.
Flag like just turned like 19 or something like that. That's it's a few years, but it's not that much. And I just feel like they
26.
man, it's like it still frustrates me to talk about this because they got rewarded the first pick after making the dumbest trade ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll tell me that it just is how the balls bounced that night in the ping pong machine or whatever. But I don't believe it. I think that Adam Silver saw all wrong and he made it right.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
Yep.
allegedly. Sorry. I think he was like, oh man, okay. I don't want to be like David and completely veto this trade. Like, if you guys want to do it, you can do what you got to do. Like, who knows what the backdoor conversations when they sent that to
I'm
the
telling
league
you, we're
office.
missing something.
Yeah, like when they sent that to the league office, who, who was the first person to see that trade and be like I'm calling my supervisor. If that if that came over to me, I'm like, okay, hold on. Hey Jim, you want to come over and look at this real quick? I think we got hacked.
Yeah.
like, come on. So I don't know, man. It's a crazy thing that they did. But
Yeah.
look, if you could manage to turn AD into that was the thing. It wasn't even the trade. I could say, okay, you want to trade Luka, trade Luka. But to trade him to only the Lakers after like 15 minutes of making him available for trade,
Yep.
and then the haul that you got, like you didn't even get Cooper Flag with the Lakers pick. Like they literally
True.
rewarded them. And now like they don't I think they have like one like what how many first rounds they get and when even is it? Like I don't get it. It's just
They
I'll
they
never
didn't get a
understand.
lot. They really didn't get a lot.
Yeah. Anthony Davis and like a first and a second
They
or
got
something.
Max Christie
Yeah, Max
and
Christie,
some
that's
other
great. He was
players,
a
but like,
rookie. Yeah, young player. Okay, great. That's like a first round pick. I guess that's probably how Rob Pelinka sold it. Like, hey man, we don't have any first round picks, but we do have Max Christie.
I mean,
And
good
they
for
bought
Rob,
it.
good for the Lakers.
They
Yeah,
bought it.
yeah,
That's what Rob said when they hung up. They bought it.
Get a load of this guy.
He bought it. He said, I told him, you hear me? You hear me selling right there? It said Max Christie's like a first round pick, and they bought it. Nico must have. I don't know what happened with him that week. That was rough,
Bro, still crazy. Still crazy.
crazy.
And again, we'll see how it pans out. Um Again, the fact that apparently, allegedly, AD is on the trading block. We'll see if he gets moved. And then again, that team, I don't know. Cooper Flag's going to be great. Kyrie's hurt. Klay Thompson, I feel like they're shopping him as well.
Yeah,
This team, they're not going to be good for a while.
that's
And this is
particular.
coming. This is
Yeah,
them coming off of an
yeah.
NBA Finals trip.
That's the mark right there. Like that's the team that you go and take for parts right there. That they about to lead
Yeah,
they about to lead the Mavericks on cinder blocks. Watch. That's what's gonna happen. Cooper Flag's the
yeah.
car. Cooper Flag's the car. It's like a Mercedes Benz, and they're gonna be. Imagine you driving
Leave
under
it
the
on cinder
bridge.
block.
You driving under the bridge, you just see a Benz, nice Benz on cinder blocks. That's what the Mavericks are about to be. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Again, it shocked the world. The Lakers seem to be in good hands. The Mavs, we'll see.
Yeah,
Cooper Flag looks like he's getting more and more comfortable each game, each week. Um, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Um, there's a lot more that happened this year in the NBA. We didn't get to everything, but those were like the big stories.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, let's get out of here real
yeah.
quick before we go. Um, any words for the Knicks fans going into 2026?
Man, the Knicks are all right now. I think that even though they're dealing with some injury troubles right now, they're all right. They're 23-9. They have won what? I'm gonna see. Hold on. They've won what out of their? I was gonna say. I look at it. 8 out of their last 10. They're on a 3-game winner right now. They had some road woes early on in the season, but they're two back-to-back road wins. Just their last 2 games. They're doing this without Josh Hart, who we know you got to have Hart to win.
Gotta have heart.
You know,
What's the diagnosis?
he's got a sprained right ankle, I believe it is, and then they're gonna take their time. They still got Mitchell Robinson on a pitch count. He's not playing every day. You know, he's gonna miss tomorrow night, I believe, against San Antonio. That's gonna be huge. But yeah, Deuce McBride just got back. Landry Shamet is still out, but they've found some great players. Tyler Kolek, another second-round pick that I didn't bring up.
Hmm.
Tyler Kolek, former Big East Player of the Year at Marquette. He's a good player. Kevin McCullers from Kansas. He's like a mini Josh Hart Jr. And then they got Mohamed Diawara, the French kid. We drafted a French kid last year, Pacome Dadier. He ain't doing nothing. But this other new kid, he had 18 points in 17 minutes last night against New Orleans. He was hooping Mohamed Diawara. Second round draft pick, 51st first pick. The only pick the Knicks had last year. The only pick that they had, and they used it on this kid. And shout out to Mike Brown, man. It's not that big of a difference in the record from last year. I think we're only one win or loss difference at the same point last
Hmm.
year with Tibbs. But when you look at the minutes distribution, you look at the amount of guys that have seen the floor for significant minutes, and they're
Bro,
not
you
just
guys
getting
needed
yanked
it.
off. Yo, let these young players play. And I think that that's what Mike Brown was brought here to do, and he's doing it. Yeah. So as far as it goes, man, the Knicks, we all right, man. I'm comfortable right now. Like it took me a long time to get here, but out of all of my sports teams, I am least worried about the Knicks. Least.
Fair enough.
I think that they're
Fair
going
enough.
exactly where we think they're going. I'm not going to talk it. I need the health. We need everything else, but they've proven in the last couple of weeks, even without a healthy roster, they're dominant and they're protecting the Garden. 15-2 at home this year.
There we go.
That's what it's
There
all
we
about,
go.
baby. I've only been to one loser, and it was a night where Anthony Black blacked out. That was it. Orlando beat us. That was
Again,
it.
again, we got to get you to more games, is what it
Yeah.
sounds like.
The last game I went to, we slaughtered the Jazz. Like, it was like 142 to like, I don't even know what. We beat them by like 30 something. I don't even know what they got on it. We killed them.
Well, let's get into the new year. Let's get out of here. Cheers, my friend.
Yes. Yo, Happy New Year, bro.
Salud. Happy New
You see
Year.
that? That's the
Oh, I
custom
like that.
glass right there. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to ask you, I'm not going to ask you. Cheers.
Yeah, it's from where
Cheers,
you think
cheers,
it's from.
cheers.
They ain't getting it back neither.
Cheers. Happy New Year, everybody. I am John L. I'm with my guy, Matt Price, Cash Walk-In. This is Heat Check powered by Designated Report. Happy New Year. Be
Yes.
safe. We will be back with y'all next week. Next year.
See you next year.